Our guest here with us, his name is Nathan Tek, and he's the Deputy Spokesperson for the U.S. Department of State. Nathan, thank you so much for giving us your time. We know it's a busy week, of course. So even before the summit began, we've started hearing news that President Biden will be making key announcements this week. There's a $55 billion over 3 years, $55 billion US over 3 years to Africa. President Biden is also expected to announce his support for a seat for the African Union at the G-20 and also a permanent seat for Africa at the UN Security Council. And then the president plans to make a multi-country trip to Africa next year. That's a lot of dreams come true in 1 week, of course. Tell us, what is the larger, bigger signal the United States is sending to Africa this week?
So we are so delighted to have 49 African leaders here in Washington with us today and a delegation from the African Union for really a set of robust, comprehensive, high-level conversations about how we can advance shared priorities with leaders of the African continent. The fact is that we see Africa as a rising power, right? Africa is a rising geopolitical player. And the fact is that we have to come to the table with something concrete, and you just outlined some of the concrete deliverables that we're bringing to the table for this conversation, right? And not only that, of course, we want to also make sure there's robust conversations among civil society, among our diaspora, among the youth, and among the business community as well, to ensure that there's a comprehensive, multi-layered partnership between the United States and Africa on both sides of the Atlantic. And so we're really excited for what's happening this week, and we look forward to a lot of really promising conversations.
Well, Nathan, speaking of everything that's being brought to the table, there's talk of significant resources that the United States is bringing to the table. What does that mean, and what do these resources hope to accomplish?
So over the next 3 years, we're going to work with Congress on identifying $55 billion in new initiatives for the African continent. And really, these are going to focus on a wide range of issues, whether it's education, whether it's healthcare, whether it's addressing the climate crisis and ensuring resiliency and adaptability in the face of climate change, whether it's strengthening institutions and strengthening civil society and a number of our key shared priorities of democracy on the continent as well. So really, we're committed to really having something concrete as a result of these meetings.
And of course, it's not lost on anyone that the issue around China's influence on the continent, Russia's influence on parts of the continent, how concerned is the United States about sort of these trends emerging in Africa?
Well, look, this week's conversations and this week's summit is not about China, it's not about Russia, it's about the United States and Africa and what we can do together collaboratively. This is not about working for Africa, it's about working with Africa and having a positive agenda that we can bring to the table. And I think that's what you're going to see over the course of this week. Just in a few minutes, we're going to have a conversation on peace, security, and governance led by Secretary Blinken, Secretary Austin, and USAID Administrator Power to talk about how peace and security are all interlinked and with good governance and stability in the region. Tomorrow, we've got a really robust conversation between civil society, the Africa Business Forum, that will result in a lot of new deals. So really, we're really excited for all the things that are happening, and we encourage your viewers to stay tuned.
Well, Nathan, just finally, if there is one concrete thing the United States is hoping everyone can walk away with this week, what would you say that would be?
Well, it's that the United States is committed to a modernized partnership with the continent of Africa, one that reflects the challenges of the 21st century, one that shows how important we view the continent and how we are committed to a long-term sustainable diplomatic engagement with its governments, with its people, and with its businesses.
Nathan, thank you so much. Good luck with the summit. We'll see what comes out of it come Thursday. Thank you so much.